Hey family and friends, yes, this is the Jones family. You know I'm doing my research on my boy as usual. Alright, so this was updated on Philly.com of the officer who shot my son, which was updated June 12, 2017 at 6:22 p.m. Come to find out, the same officer who shot my son did the same thing to another gentleman in 2010, chasing him down about a armed handgun as usual. He also paralyzed the gentleman, shot him dead in the back, and I'm reading the whole article. If you go to Philly.com, you can read it. He needs to be off the streets. He needs to lose his job, and he's trying to make it seem like all black men is guilty and he's doing his job. So please share and protest.
You know, it's another case of police brutality, and you know, I really hate having to do these videos, but they're so important, you know, because we need to bring awareness to situations. Like, people know what's going on, but we have right here this lady who's trying to find out information, researching to find out as much as she can to help get justice for her son David. Now, I want to give a special shout out to Karen King from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, because she alerted several blogs, including myself, and that's how I found out about the story. Karen posted a selfie of David where it said "Peace, Justice for David," and what she wrote about it was, "Go to at Gloria the NDA. This is her son. Go read her story. She said the police murdered him. May God surround her family with blessings and abundance." At the Shade Room, at Meat Magazine blog, that's me, at Industry on Blast _ at Nameless Entertainment _ at WeTV, at Gloria the NDA, that's his mom, at VH1 Love and Hip Hop T, at VH1, at Centric TV. So I went to Gloria's Instagram page and I follow her, which I suggest that we all do, and support her any way that we can. That's why I'm making this video. And what she said on the video that I showed you at the beginning was, the officer did the same thing in 2010, where he paralyzed the man by shooting him in the bank, as well as I'm doing my homework. Not time. The officer name is Ryan Pownell. He is known for shooting black men in back. Shaking my head. Hashtag no justice, no peace. Hashtag justice David. Hashtag, so make sure you use that hashtag, y'all. Justice David. Hashtag NACCP. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hashtag Rev Al Sharpton, hashtag Rev Jesse Jackson, hashtag Kevin Hart, hashtag Philly Cops Kill, hashtag Louis Farrakhan. Okay, so I went to the story, the same one that she had read, which is at the, let me see, the Philly.com website. And let me see, it was updated, yeah, June 12th of 2017, 6:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the article was written by Robert Morin, who happens to be a staff writer for the website. So shout out to Robert Morin for writing this very informative article. Now, first of all, they showed a picture, a Facebook picture of David, rest in peace. And what they said on the picture was, David Jones was fatally shot by police officer Ryan Pownell during a traffic stop Thursday in North Philadelphia. Now, the title of the article is "Police Identify Officer in Fatal Shooting of Armed Man." Here's what they wrote. The Philadelphia Police Department on Monday identified the officer who fatally shot an armed man last week, striking him in the back as he ran from a traffic stop. Officer Ryan Pownell, a 12-year veteran assigned to the 15th district, shot David Jones in the back and buttocks, so he was shot multiple times, as he ran south on Whitaker Avenue from Hunting Park Avenue just after 6:40 p.m. Thursday. Jones, 30, who worked as a long-haul trucker, was taken to Temple University Hospital and pronounced dead at 6:59 p.m. In 2010, Pownell shot another fleeing suspect in the back. In that case, Carnell Williams Carney had a gun and ran from officers, briefly out of Pownell's view. Williams Carney ditched the gun as he ran behind a house. Williams Carney, who is now paraplegic because the bullet struck his spine, filed a civil suit. A federal jury in 2013 found that the city and police did not violate Williams Carney's civil rights. Pownall could not be reached for comment Monday night. Police Union President John McNesby on Monday said Pownall faced, quote, a split-second decision when he had to take action in the encounter with Jones. Quote, very easily, we could have had another funeral for an officer on our hands, he said. McNesby said he has spoken with Pownall several times in recent days. The officer has been taken off street duty pending the results of an internal investigation. Quote, his spirits are high, his training kicked in, and hopefully this will be resolved quickly, McNesby said. McNesby said he was not aware of the prior incident and could not comment on it. Last Thursday night, Pownall, while transporting several witnesses in an unrelated matter to the Special Victims Unit at 300 East Hunting Park Avenue, was stopped at a red light at Whitaker and Hunting Park when he spotted a red dirt bike being operated in a reckless manner, police said. The dirt bike stalled on the sidewalk next to Casa de Espana restaurant in the 4200 block of Whitaker. Pownall pulled over near the dirt bike, exited his patrol vehicle, and attempted to question Jones. Police said Jones turned the right side of his body away from Pownall and grabbed the front of his waistband. Here we go with he went for the waistband trick. Okay, so that's the excuse that they're using in this particular story. I haven't heard that one in a few months, I guess. So police said Jones turned the right side of his body away from Pownall and grabbed the front of his waistband, police said. The officer drew his own weapon and repeatedly ordered Jones not to touch his gun, police said. Police Commissioner Richard Ross said a witness in the back of the patrol car also pleaded with Jones not to grab his gun. A struggle ensued and Jones pulled out his gun, police said. Pownall squeezed the trigger on his service weapon, but it jammed, police said. He cleared the jam and fired at Jones, who by then was running away. TV news images from the scene showed a pistol on the ground just feet from the dirt bike, away from where Jones had run to when he was shot. Ross said he viewed surveillance video of part of the encounter and the footage of the man getting shot while running away, quote, gives me pause. The 9mm pistol was loaded with 15 rounds, police said. Jones had gotten married a few months ago and recently bought a house in, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, in Juniata Park with his wife, his family said. Jones had been arrested 3 times in his early 20s for drug-related offenses and pleaded guilty in those cases. Court records show that in 2010, Jones was sentenced to 2 to 6 years in prison in one of the cases. It was the city's 4th officer-involved shooting in 2017, according to department statistics, and 3rd fatal shooting. In 2016, Philadelphia officers shot 14 people, 5 fatally. Williams Carney filed his federal lawsuit in 2012 after prosecutors dropped their criminal case against him. His complaint states that he was walking alone near what is now Aria Health Frankfurt campus when he was stopped by Pownall and another officer who had pulled up to him in a patrol car. There was a dispute as to why they stopped him. The officer either believed Williams Carney had a gun or the stop was drug related. Williams Carney did not dispute that he ran or that he had a gun. According to his complaint, Pownall fired 7 rounds as he ran after Williams Carney. According to the complaint, Williams Carney tossed the gun, quote, in underbush behind the house before he was shot in the back, end quote. In 2013, a response filed in court, Deputy City Solicitor Amanda C. Schaffel wrote that Pownall was justified in using deadly force. Quote, the undisputed facts establish that police officer Pownall believed Mr. Williams Carney, who had been running from police, was about to use a handgun to evade arrest. By not showing his hands when repeatedly commanded by police officer Pownall and reaching for the firearm and removing it from his waistband, it was reasonable for police officer Pownall to believe he was in imminent danger for his life and shot Williams Carney. That split second of waiting could have proven fatal to police officer Pownell had Mr. Williams Carney fired the gun at him rather than throwing it away, Schaffel wrote. The lawyers who represented Williams Carney could not be reached for comment Monday night. So yeah, we have an officer here. By the way, that's the end of the article. So we have an officer here that, you know, didn't just do this once, but did this at least twice that we know of here. And, you know, they'll use the excuse, oh, so-and-so, you know, the suspect was armed, this, that, and the third. Was the person registered to carry the firearm? Whose firearm was it? Did they actually aim it at the officer? Did they discharge the weapon? I mean, if the weapon was thrown in the bushes, you know, I mean, the officer is shooting people in the back. How much of a threat can somebody be with their back turned? It just, none of this makes any sense. But, you know, I just hope that David gets justice for what happened to him. I mean, technically, there is technically no justice that you can get for a man who was shot in the damn back. I mean, there's no way that you can, unless they can go back in time and stop the police officer for doing what he did. There's technically nothing that you can do to actually give his family justice. But I mean, they need to do something. And you know, these officers are acting like as if they're judge, jury, and executioner, and that's not their job. That's not what they were trained to do. That's not within their job description. They're allegedly supposed to serve and protect, not shoot people in the back. You know, that officer needs to be in jail. The simple fact that federal jury or whatever came to the conclusion that, well, they felt that he didn't do anything wrong is very telling as far as the law and what's going on with the way that they're doing things in America at this point. It's very telling. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory at this point what's going on. But I hope that his family receives some sort of justice, some sort of peace. You know, I don't know what they could do for them at this point, because it unfortunately won't bring David or the other gentleman who was shot in the back. And it's like, this is just one officer who did this, and there's others. There's so many cases like this, and I would say it's unbelievable, but it's America 2017, and at this point, unfortunately, it's too believable. It's really shameful. But anyway, this is all my opinion. You know, subscribe to me on YouTube, Meat Magazine on Twitter, Meat Magazine blog and Instagram. If anybody has any information that can help the family of either one of these gentlemen, please let me know. And I will for sure be able to get the information to David's mom, because I follow her on Instagram, and I would definitely send it to her, and I will track down the other gentleman's family and get the information to them. If you have any information that can help either family to receive some sort of justice in any way for these actions that this criminal in a badge took, shooting people in the back, 2 men that we know of. If you have any information at all whatsoever that can help them, please let me know. I will get the information to them. Thank you.